potato poultice is for. So let's look. Let's look over here. We've got... What page? Y'all see it there? Oh, there we go, 4. Now, grandmother used it for burns. It works really well for burns. I had a guy come in one time, and he was working on a furnace. It was a gas furnace. He turned the valve off. The valve didn't work. When he used a lighter to look because the light in the room didn't work. It exploded, burned his face, burned his eyebrows off, eyelashes off, burned his hair off, burned him really good through here. And then not only did it just plumb burn his face, he looked like a 1957 Chevy with flame marks on him. And it burned flame marks into him. Good deep flame marks. So when he came in, we put him on the exam table, and I called to dietary because grandmother had taught me to use potato poultices. Well, the first thing I did was I took aloe vera, and I poured aloe vera, and literally his face soaked up a quart of aloe vera gel. I just kept putting on, it just kept soaking it. It totally soaked up the whole quart. By this time, dietary sends me potato poultices. So let's make a potato poultice, and I'll finish the story. So what you'll do is you'll take your potato. You've got a grater. You can peel it if you want to, depending on, it's a little easier on the skin if it's really burnt. I'd peel the skin off, but if it's just normal tater poultice, you don't have to. But a lot of folks will peel the potato before a potato poultice, but we're going to grade the potato. So we're going to go around the table. You got one grater there, and we're just going to grade, like grating a piece of cheese. I would get a little handful, just a little handful. So when you're finished, you got your little handful, pass your grater and let someone else. Everybody needs to grade their potato. You're not going to grade the whole thing possibly, but just grade your potato. Is it? How much? Oh, pardon? How much to use? Okay, there's a question out there. How much potato do you make? How big is the affected area? So if you have a bowl, then this amount right here, what you just graded, is plenty for the bowl at this time. On a potato poultice, you do not grate it, put it in the refrigerator. You grate it now. Use it now, and then when you put another one, use it again. So as you're continuing to grade around the table, so we kept doing this. For 5 hours, we treated this man. And it was back and forth between just aloe vera, and we ran out of aloe vera gel. We ran out of aloe vera juice. Well, we had aloe vera plants down in our greenhouse. We had nurses. We had a therapist from Colombia, from Venezuela, and I sent them down to make our own aloe vera gel. And because you understand that from Colombia and Venezuela. And so we would put that on his face back and forth. I was using so much of the potatoes that I had the dietary department start using a Cuisinart, a food processor, to grate it because we were using so much. And so you put it on, and the question is, how long do you leave it on? Well, the aloe vera, it would dry up into him. The potato, I would take it, excuse me, feel how wet it is? I would then I put a piece of aloe over each eye, and I just covered his whole head and face and neck with just 2 little holes for him to breathe. I put 2 pieces of aloe vera each time over the eye, but the rest of it was just potato. And do you feel how cool it is? How wet it is? Who has ever treated sunburn with a washcloth and vinegar? So when you use the vinegar, you put the washcloth on there until it becomes warm. And then you then keep going back into your bowl, and your bowl of vinegar will turn warm. And so I use 2 bowls of vinegar, because now that bowl of vinegar is going into the freezer, and then I use the second bowl, and then I'm going back and forth until I don't pull any heat out. See, textbook, heat penetrates, continues driving deeper and deeper for 12 hours. That is why at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, why you're really cooking from a sunburn. Because it's been cooking all afternoon, in the evening, and so it can take up to 12 hours. So as quick as possible with any burn, you want to cool the burn, stop that burning process. Now, my favorite to use to stop the burning process is lavender essential oil. Lavender essential oil is the best thing I have found to stop the burning process. It works great. But if I'm treating, so you fill the washcloth with the vinegar on it. When it gets warm, then you keep changing out. The same thing with the potato. So I would keep feeling his face, just feeling just as you're feeling put your fingers in the potato here, keep feeling it until it turned warm. Well, now I needed it cold again. So then I would carefully pull that off, throw it away, and then I would put more vinegar, more aloe vera, and then I would do another thing of potato, and sometimes I would even pour potato in there. Now, what is the first thing you think we did when we started treating this guy?
Sedating.
Pardon? Sedating? No. What? Pray. That's the first thing. God's the one doing the healing, and so you pray. Now, when people come and they ask me about issues, whether it's cancer or whatever, well, what do I do? What do I do? Many times I don't know. Ask God. God's the medical director, y'all. And so literally, I do a lot of consultations where people call me in from all over the U.S., and over 50% of them are calling me for cancer. And they'll say, well, what do I do? I don't know. Because there's 4 pages of things and they can't use them all, and everybody's different. And so you pray that God will show you. Mary Lou and I were standing by the herb cabinet at work a couple months ago, and a lady and her husband come in and walk in the door, and she says, do you remember us? No. She says, well, I came in 2 years ago. I had liver cancer. You gave me these 4 pages of things to do. She came in from another state. She said, you sent me back home, and she said, we were just coming back through the area this time, and we wanted to stop in and let you know that I went home. I did what you said. I prayed to the medical director. God's the medical director. I prayed to the medical director, and only one item on that page did I feel impressed to do, so I did it. It was ACACT. Who's heard of ACACT? Very powerful. And she said, it took a year, but she says, I've been totally cancer-free. That's the liver for a whole year. God is good. And so as you look at a situation and you think, oh, that needs a potato poultice, well, find out what the medical director wants you to do. Yes, God's the doctor. It may be something else. And so I remember when I started doing this at work, and I would pray and I'd argue with God. You know, you're impressed to do this, and you go, no, that doesn't work for that. No, just do it. And I find out, boy, that works for that. Oh, that works for that. And God will impress you. Do you know how you go buy a car and you pray on it and you go, that just ain't right? Y'all say that here, right? That just ain't right. And so you don't get it. You don't feel at peace. But then you pray on another car and you go, that's the one. I feel at peace. And that's what you do. And that's how you ask God about what you want to do there. So did everybody get to grade yours up? So you feel how cold it is? Isn't that cool? And it's wet. So here's some things that you can use potato poultice for: burns, boils. swelling, mastitis, inflammation, styes. If it's a sty for ladies, and I should say particularly ladies because even guys do this, which I don't understand, but anyway, take the makeup off. Take the eyeliner off. You don't, if there's a sty, you want to clean that area off and you don't want makeup there. Spider bites. Now, my favorite for spider bites is activated charcoal. And tomorrow we'll get a chance to make activated charcoal. And I'm going to show you a way that is amazing. It's not as messy. I hired a therapist out of Switzerland, and it works very, very well. We don't have the tattooing propensity. It just works really neat. And my daughter, she came to me one day, and we'll leave that story till tomorrow. Spider bites, infection, ear infection, hemorrhoids, and potatoes do work well on hemorrhoids. And tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, we're going to do a poultice also that works well on hemorrhoids. But you can just, what you would do is take your material here, and then you would have either a paper towel or a sanitary napkin or something to hold it up against the hemorrhoid, and then you can change it, you know, I mean, you could leave it there all night. You could change it several times a day. But that hemorrhoid, the potato will pull that inflammation out of that external hemorrhoid. Any questions on potatoes?
So you did the aloe vera in combination with the potato?
So what I did, at first I did only aloe vera, and then because I had it at hand, they had to fix the taters for me. And so I kept pouring and then I started doing them in combination. Yes. So what I did is I put the aloe vera juice or gel, put the potatoes on, and then pour more of the aloe vera in there. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Did you get that from the plant, aloe vera plant?
So the first ones I did, I got out of bottles until I used them all up. And then we had a bunch of aloe plants down in our greenhouse, and we had some therapists from Colombia and Venezuela. They knew what to do. They went down there and started making me our own out of the plants. Yes. We, get the skin away. Just take the meat, fillet it. Yes. Would it work on a ganglion cyst? I would probably go with castor oil on that one. A castor oil pack. Did that work? Didn't work. I found that to be true many times. There are folks that I've tried it. I've tried the castor oil pack. It's not a big bat. It's the best thing I know. The best thing I know is the physician take a little, pop it out, cut it off, and sew it back, or glue it back. Yeah. Sometimes you have to cut it out, and that's the best thing I found for a ganglion cyst. Yes, I understand. Yes.
What was the outcome of the patient?
Which one?
The fire.
Oh, the guy. Yeah, I saw him just last month when I was out in Phoenix. There was no scar. He had no scarring. It happened in 20,000. It was in 2003, probably 2002, and his wife. We taught his wife what to do. She came. We brought her in. We treated him for 5 hours. She went home, kept treating him, and yeah, he had no scarring at all, none, and he looks fine, no scarred. For an ear infection, you can just apply it over the ear. Yes, and so you can take a piece of paper towel. It's wet. Apply it on the ear. Now, my favorite for an ear infection. Now I got a potato ear. My favorite for an ear infection is take a teaspoon, fill it 70% full of olive oil, put about equal to half a capsule of golden seal. Stir it a little bit. Put 3 drops in the ear, rub it like you would down in a dog's ear, and then put, those hot packs guys use for hunting that keep their hand warm, put one of those on there. And every 2 waking hours, put 3 drops in there. If it's an infant, do 2 drops. But usually an ear infection is gone usually in 24 hours. It's very fast, even faster. Yes? Something that could be topical that you could see. You see redness, you can apply it on there. Like you'd use a charcoal poultice for. Yes. Any other questions on the potato poultice? I'm breaking the rules. I'm sorry. Y'all are supposed to write them down. Okay, yes. Good question. What is a poultice? So a poultice can be where you have it wrapped in a paper towel and you apply it to the affected area, or you can take the plant material, put it plumb on the area, and then wrap it with some Curlex or bandage or roller gauze or whatever you want, or you can put some saran wrap on. There are people who wrap the arm with saran wrap. I don't like that because I like the arm to breathe. And when you wrap the whole area, the other parts, skin needs to breathe. So you can put some saran wrap on top of it and then wrap the other with Curlex or whatever you choose to do, or tie a cloth around it. Yes? How long do you leave it there? Depends on what the area is. If it's a burn, I only leave it there as long as it's cool. And I'm going to constantly keep changing it, if it's an immediate burn. Now, if it's a burn from days ago or whatever, I'm not going to use the charcoal. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to go something else. But normally I'll leave it there. You can leave it there for several hours and put another one on. It oxidizes very fast. Is there another question? Yes. Swelling of the feet. The question is, why is there swelling of the feet? Is it congestive heart failure? No, yours isn't. Okay. So if you have peripheral swelling, the best thing I know for that, even for congestive heart failure, but I like to get to the root cause. I just don't want to treat signs and symptoms. So you want to get to root cause, but on this, if there's no congestive heart failure, then I'm not worrying about addressing the heart. But the best thing I know for edema like that would be dandelion leaf is my favorite. Corn silk is good for edema, as a diuretic. So is dandelion root, but my favorite is dandelion leaf. Works very well. Yes? I would take it by mouth, either in an extract or a capsule or a tea. And I do it 4 times to 6 times a day, depending on the acuity.
And just to note, the potato poultice, we were talking about the sky, I had a red bump under my eye that you could tell it was getting redder and bigger. I did the potato poultice, I wrapped it in a paper towel, and it was only like this big, 2 by 2 square.
Yeah.
And I put it on my eye for 2 hours, twice a day, 3
Mm-hmm.
times a day, and within 3 days it was gone.
Isn't that cool? God is good. Now, here's something very important. Today, before we ate, what did we do? To thank God for the food, but to ask God to bless the food. This doesn't heal. God uses this and He blesses it. It's just like, let's say you went home one day and you told your spouse, I'm never going to eat again. God's just going to take care of me. God's going to say, listen, boy, I gave you a brain. I gave you food. Now use both of them and eat. And then ask me to bless it, and I'll bless it. That is how it works. It's a relationship of working together, of where, and the question is, how do you know what to do? Let's say that you have a person that's a surgeon, and you're a OR nurse, and you're handing the tools to him. Back in 2000, Dr. Ben Carson's nurse was a patient of ours. And she's the one that he would say scalpel, and she'd hand him scalpel. And he'd say sponge, she'd hand him sponge. If you're that nurse, had you better know what a scalpel is or which one he's talking about? Had you know which sponge to give? Would you need to know that? So here's how it works. You would know, okay? Okay, so what if you said, and the doctor said, what's an example? What would he ask for? Give me a tool that the doc would ask for in surgery. Scalpel, okay. But what would happen if you said, I don't know what a scalpel is? But you'd need to know in order to help him, yes? Yes. As a medical missionary, you've got to know the modalities. You got to know the tools. So when the surgeon asks for some weird tool over there that he doesn't use but you got to know what it is, and you got to know ready to hand it to him. So God, you go to a person, you're working with a person, and you pray, God, give us discernment, give us wisdom. What shall we do? And let's say it's a revulsive treatment. Well, you need to know what a revulsive treatment is to be able to do it. So you need to know the modalities that we're going to be looking today and tomorrow, and there's many, many more. So when you pray as a medical missionary, God can say, okay, you need to do this. Let's say a person comes with diabetes. And so you're going to help them, and you pray, and you go, okay, we need to do this. Does God tell us that kind of thing? Does God tell you things to do? Yay or nay? Absolutely. And so with what you feel at peace with, that is what you do. But you got to pray. Okay, any other questions on the potato poultice? Yes? No. Well, I wouldn't use a sweet tater. But I would use, whether it's an Irish potato or Kennyback or, just a regular white potato. Now, sweet tater probably does something else. I've never used sweet potato on something, but a lavender essential oil. And essential oils are so strong. Did you know that 1 drop of peppermint essential oil, to get the same medicinal benefit, you would have to drink 28 cups of peppermint tea to get the same benefit? It's power. I call it herbs on steroids. So lavender, you just take the top off and you just put it over the affected area. And then, cover it good, and then go back and do it again, and that will help to drive in and stop the burning. Mary Lou, does it work? Mary Lou gets in a rush. She's going wide open, and she'll burn her hand on the stove, on the oven. And so she puts that on there. It works. Back several months ago, I said, what happened to your hand? She goes, I burned it. Why didn't you put lavender? I was too busy. Well, I could tell it was different. She didn't use the lavender that time. So when you're looking at essential oils, yes, especially by mouth, But even my son Walter will argue till the cows come home. Dad, it even matters on topical because it transdermally goes in. Now, if I'm trying to keep mice out of the attic or out of my tool shed, I don't care what kind of peppermint. I don't care if they get sick. I'm trying to drive them off. Because peppermint essential oil is great to run mice and rats and snakes and spiders and all those guys away. And so I don't care about the quality there. But yes, and so when you look at an essential oil, any of the herbs, let me go back and let me explain. Is there anyone here that doesn't know what an essential oil is? Everybody knows essential oils. Great. Okay. So you've got your regular herbs, and then you can make herbs last longer, and you can do an extract or a tincture. I like extracts. Tinctures use alcohol. And then you can make an essential oil, and the essential oil is usually distilled, but it can also be pressed. What do you look for in herbs? You look at the quality of soil, where they're grown. The best lavender in the world is from over by where you're from, in Europe. That is the best lavender in the world. That soil is the best. Who's ever lived in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky? Do y'all know what kudzu is? Kudzu. Kudzu, though it was brought to America by the Japanese during the World's Fair as an erosion control, the best place in the world that kudzu grows is in the southeast United States. The quality is the best. Can we use kudzu for stuff? Yeah, you can. If you take it by mouth, it lowers the desire for alcohol 40 to 60%. Kudzu root. Now, guys, y'all probably already know Kudzu. Wives can sometimes be conniving. I'll have wives come in, and they'll have an empty multivitamin container, and they will get kudzu from Mary Lou or me, capsules, and they will pour it into their multivitamin, and then they go to their husband, "Here, honey, here's your multivitamin." It's kudzu, and desire that the husband will use less alcohol. But you can use the leaves for food. You can use the root. Root is amazing for healing. But depending on where in the world it's grown, depending on the soil. But the other key is, when is it harvested? Anybody want to guess what my favorite sandwich is?
Avocado.
No, I do like that. I had that for breakfast. No, that's Mary Lou's. Mater sandwich. That's right. A mater sandwich. Tomato sandwich. One of my suppliers is out of England. And we were talking one day, and he says, "Well," he says, "y'all say words different than us." He says, like we say tomatoes and you say tomatoes. And I said, "No, we say maters." He goes, "What?" A tomato sandwich, or we say in the mountains, maters. A tomato sandwich is my favorite. Now, do I want a green tomato for my tomato sandwich? No. It's not vine ripe. Now, they pick it green because it's going to take a while to get to wherever. But you want it to where it just feels just right. Now, you don't want to squeeze it, and it squeezes in your hand and your fingers go through it. But you want it just right. Who's ever been a farmer with hay? Anybody grow hay? Nobody grow hay? Well, see, when hay grows, it has a cycle. It's a bell curve. And so Dad would pray that at the top of the bell curve, you have the most nutrition. And so as it's growing, if it's raining here, you cannot cut the hay or it will mold. And so if it's going to be a storm, you may have to cut it early. It will not have as much nutrition. Or maybe you have to wait till as it goes down, you have to cut it. It will not have as much nutrition. So the other key in picking an essential oil or a herb is the company needs to harvest it when it is like vine ripe, has the most nutrition. So your question is, does it matter? Yes, it matters. Yeah. All right, let's go to, do we have a question from the audience? Okay. So let's go to another one. Who knew that you can make a carrot poultice? Let's make a carrot poultice. So we're just going to grate up a carrot just like we grated up the potato. So let's go ahead and start grating. So while we're still grading, is it better to cook the carrot to get the most nutrition, or is it better to eat the carrot raw? Both. There are some chemicals, mostly raw is better, but there is some chemicals in a carrot that you only get maximum if you cook it. So there's a benefit of both cooking it and it's the lycopene. So let's look at, the beta carotene. The lycopene is in a tomato, and tomatoes are the same way. Some things you get better raw, and some things you get better cooked. Okay, so you have your carrot. You ground it up. So let's go to our handout. What can we use carrot poultices for? Draws out toxins. You can make a sore throat. You could do a poultice around the neck. Colds, flus, tonsillitis, bronchitis, swollen glands. It cleanses the lymph, wounds, burns, boils, abscesses, chapped skin, cold sores, eczema, bruising, muscle problems, tore tendons and ligaments, reduces pain and swelling. Now, if I had muscle problems, what is the first thing I'm going to look at for muscle pain? Magnesium deficiency. 75% of muscle pain is due to magnesium deficiency. It's huge. Now, who knows what a hospitalist is? A hospitalist. Used to, your attending would follow you to the hospital. They don't do that no more most places. You have a hospitalist or a doctor in the hospital that will sees you, all the patients in the hospital. A friend of mine who's a hospitalist in Chattanooga, Tennessee, he called me recently and he says, "Walt, you won't believe this." He said, "I was noticing that the admissions, as I looked at labs, the magnesiums and the potassiums were low. So I made a standing order. All admits we had to do a magnesium and a potassium." He said, "We're running 90 to 95% of all hospital admissions, magnesium, potassium deficiency." That's huge. That's huge. Why do we have low magnesium? Well, it could be because of stress. Stress lowers both magnesium and potassium. What's the number one diagnosis in America? Stress. And then we found that if any food that you eat has been sprayed with Roundup, such as wheat, corn, soybeans. Now, you probably don't eat alfalfa, but alfalfa, it's good to have alfalfa as a supplement, but we don't normally eat it. Those four and more can use Roundup, and anytime Roundup is on the soil, it binds the magnesium where the plant will not uptake it into the food. We know of soil erosion. We know of heirloom seeds versus hybrid seeds. University of North Carolina found that hybrid seeds only uptake approximately 40% of the nutrients that heirloom seeds will pull out of the ground. So if you're using hybrid seeds, you're getting 40 cents on a dollar on your nutrition. That's significant, significant. Plus, if times get tough, which I think times are getting tougher, I think it's going to be tough, heirloom seeds you can plant again next year. Hybrid seeds you cannot. And so you can perpetuate. Yes?
So if you're taking the magnesium in the tablet or capsule form, which one is the best one?
Good question. Which magnesium do you use? One, look to see what works best for you. I like citrate. I like citrate. It was interesting when 2 weeks ago, Barbara and I were speaking, someone asked the question, and I said citrate, and she says, "There's someone else that agrees with me." You know, I find citrate just seems to work better. Now, if you're having issues of cognitive issues, the Magtine, Marilou? Magtine works quite well, and it's also called threonate. Threonate. That works good. Magnesium is like a rifle or a shotgun. So as a shotgun, citrate, glycinate works well for many areas, where the Magtine is brain specific, or more brain specific. What you want to look for is what is the bioavailability? Some magnesiums are not very good bioavailable. Then how well does it work? for that specific problem. I like mag citrate. And you can use it to what's called bowel tolerance. Now, I had a guy come in, he had leg cramps, and I prayed, and I just really felt it was magnesium deficiency. But he could not even tolerate 400 milligrams of magnesium. He'd have green apple two-step. Y'all know what green apple two-step is? What happens if you eat too many green apples? It gives you the two-step. Trots. Yes. So they call it the Tijuana two-step? Okay. So it'll give you a loose stool. So you take magnesium to bowel tolerance, whatever the bowels will tolerate. He could not even tolerate 400 milligrams. So we use magnesium oil. And we put it on the area. Transdermally goes in better, actually, to the muscle than even by mouth. But the oil is a great tool to use. The question back.
That was my problem. When we discovered oil, it solved it.
Oh, yeah. Oil's tremendous.
It stings a little bit.
Well, if you get one, did yours have aloe vera in it?
No.
Get the one with aloe vera in it because it feels like 1,000 centipedes walking all over your leg or wherever you put it. Yeah, it's also used great for an angina. It's good for congestive heart failure because the heart needs magnesium. And so you can rub it on. I like a roller ball. You can do a spray, but the spray, sometimes you have overspray. And just put it over the heart several times a day if it's, say, congestive heart failure or issues with angina or whatever. Let's say if you have arrhythmias, the magnesium oil is great for transdermally going in there and helping. So magnesium can help a person sleep. Absolutely. Your local health food store would have it as an oil. You can get it. It looks like a little deodorant roller ball, and you can rub it on you, or you can get the spray and spray it on you. Works very well. Now the pill, I like the pill form better. So when a person comes to me and they present with potential magnesium deficiency, the roller ball is only going to target here the heart, here on the legs. I need it everywhere. I need it in the brain. I need it to help the bowels. I need it all over, so systemic. So the pills or the powder or whatever is systemic going to get it into them as long as they can handle it bowel tolerance. Yes?
So if you sleep like in a bad position on your foot, right? And then you notice you get like this numbness in the finger, is that also because of deficiency of magnesium?
It could be the position in which you sleep because during the day you don't get it, do you? It could be you're sleeping in a way in which it's cutting off. Something's happening while you sleep. Try sleeping in another position. And then they make pillows that you can put an arm through and just try another position. That could resolve it. Because if it's just at night, I wouldn't think it'd be a deficiency because it would be in the daytime also. So it sounds more like a positioning issue. Yes?
Leg cramps and toe cramps at night what form of magnesium is glycinate better than citrate or?
It depends on the person. You can try citrate. You can try glycinate. You can try Epsom salt bath. You can try rollerball. Just see which one works best for you because it's not a cookie cutter. Everyone's different.
How much magnesium should someone if they have a deficiency?
Oh, good question. There are so many people, even taking magnesium, are still magnesium deficient. Why? Because there's so much stress out there. And what happens is when you're stressed, you go into fight or flight. Adrenaline goes up. So God put a fire extinguishing system in you. Let's see. No, y'all don't have it here. Let's say that you have a hood system in a restaurant and there's fire. There's a hood system. Well, God has a hood system in our body, and it dumps magnesium to buffer or protect the cells from the harmful effects of the adrenaline. And so every time you're stressed, someone pulls in front of you, you get a phone call, you think about the kids, whatever it is, you're dumping magnesium. Plus, if you're eating foods that doesn't come up, or it's not in the soil, or whatever it might be, then you're not getting adequate magnesium. I do 400 milligrams 2-3 times a day is what I recommend to people to bowel tolerance. 400 milligrams 2 to 3 times a day to bowel tolerance.
That would be in a pill, if it was a pill form?
A pill form or the powder and stir it in water.
You can take it 4 times a day?
You can do it 3 or 4 times a day. It'll just give you a green apple two-step. It'll just give you a loose stool. and just cut back to bowel tolerance. Yes? So when you have cramping in the legs, the number one cause is magnesium. Number 2 is dehydration. Number 3 is potassium. Number 4 is iron. And we're seeing more and more iron issues because people aren't eating greens. They're eating processed foods. So irons can affect it. Do I need to jump back over to herbs?
No.
What? Yes.
Is it possible for us to switch a little?
Yes.
Can we do comfrey
Uh-huh.
and apply it to her leg? Because
Absolutely.
So she could be our model?
Come on. Let's do it. So let me finish with carrot. And then, oh, no, we already finished with carrot. We did do that. So we're going to do comfrey real quick. All right. So this is as... So we're going to do a comfrey poultice, and we can do comfrey poultices different ways. We can take the comfrey, and we can. There we go. Got it. Good. So we can take the comfrey, and we can pour hot water over it till we fracture the plant material. And so I'll just use this as an example. So let's say that you want to use it right now. And so you can, let's see, this is your comfrey leaf, and you can take it and you, let's make it more realistic. So y'all know what comfrey is? Comfrey is just a plant. Does it grow here? Yes. Okay, it grows here. And comfrey is really good for bone issues, for tissue issues, nerve issues, ligaments. And so it just transdermally goes in, but it's really good for broken bones. It's also called bone knit. And so what you can do, where's the affected area? Okay, right through there. So we're going to do 2 different types. We're going to play with this one, then we're going to do a real one. So what you can do is you can take your comfrey, put it into a container, pour the hot water on it. That's going to fracture the cells to open them up, and then we can then apply it directly onto the wound or onto the area. And then we can put, say, some saran wrap on top of it, and then, again, not around the whole foot, but the saran wrap will keep it moist. Mm-hmm. So poultices need to stay moist to work. And so by putting the saran wrap, it keeps it moist, and then you can put some plastic saran wrap on there and then wrap it with Curlex or what do they call it, roller gauze now or whatever. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we can take there we go, that'll work perfect. Yeah, this will work, or a paper towel. I wouldn't waste the flannel. Let's do, so tell me what we have here. It's a sprain, and tell me where it's sprained.
It's in here. It's in the joint.
All in this region right here.
Right, so this all of here was swollen. It's
From here all the way over.
yes.
Okay? So what we're going to do is get a piece of paper towel. So what we want to do is we want to cut this to where it covers the whole area. So let's tear it across here. Real neat. Okay, so we're going to tear it right here because we want it for the affected area.
I'm taking a better look.
That would, but I'm going to do this one. Let's do it bigger. Yeah, let's do it like that. So then what you're going to do, let's see here. You want to help?
Nico, yes.
Okay, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to get, where's our dipper?
It's in there, sir.
Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do is let's put, I'd like this to be, do you have a strainer, kitchen strainer?
Trainer.
Like a, y'all have?
Trainer, like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to strain it through a kitchen strainer. Perfect. Okay. Okay, hang on just a sec. We're going to, oh, it's dripping. You're right. Sorry. You got good eyes. Okay. So here you go. Smash that down. You can push it a little harder. So what we're doing is we're getting the material, only the material, and then here you go. You gonna pour this on here? There you go. And then you gonna smooth it over here. There you go. Oops, sorry. There you go. If you'll smooth it out, all this area here. I'm in the way for everybody.
Oh,
Here we go. Thank you. So just keep smoothing on out through there. Let's put a little bit more, or pull it out right through here. Good job. We will, yes. We do. Yeah. Okay. Let's get a little bit more. Okay, let's put it back in here. Okay, smash it. Good job. Okay, go ahead and dump it in there. Good job. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this somewhere so we don't spill it. If you can take this so it don't spill.
Are you using the root itself, not
The leaf, comfrey leaf.
just the leaf? Okay, not the leaf.
So here we go. Okay, now let's do this just to make it. It's got a lot of, what did you soak it in? Olive oil. So it's got a lot of olive oil there. I don't want it dripping all the time. So I'm taking just a little bit off. I will in just a moment. Okay, you ready to put it on there? So you're going to place it right on here in that area. So now hang on, just like that. You're going to take it over and you're just going to lay it on there gently because she hurts. Turn it over. You can. There we go. You can make it go through the paper towel, or you can just do it. I like using it straight on it. Yeah, that works great. So let's get some saran wrap. It's okay. This is the hardest part. Okay, grab the ends. Put it sticks together. There you go. Good job. Okay. And you're going to put that on top there. And then we're going to take the roller gauze and you're going to roll it on. Okay, so see what we've done? We've taken the plant material, put it on in the paper towel, put the plant material actually against the skin. We put a piece of saran wrap to keep it moist and also from tarnishing something else. And now what she's going to do is roller gauze it on there. Can you tolerate it if you lift it up? And she can do that? Okay.
Is it soothing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we're working on a Pathfinder on her here. Yes, thank you. You get it good. Okay, you tape it up. So tell me, can children do medical missionary work? Absolutely. Absolutely. Go back to the Waldensians. Can children do gospel work? Absolutely. Good job. That really looks good. So, we got some tape here. If I had time, what I would have done is I would have done hydrotherapy first. It's not a new. How old is a sprain? Okay, so depending on which orthopedist you talk to, don't run off anywhere because I'm going to need your help. So they will tell you anywhere between 24 and 48 hours. You don't want to apply hot because that's just going to cause more edema. You use cold only in the first 24 or 48 hours. After that, then you can do hot and cold. So in the first 24, 48, you're just going to do cold on the sprain. And then you can then put that on there. And then what I do is twice a day, I would take it off, do the cold. But now that we're over 24 or 48 hours, I would do hot and cold. 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold. 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold. 7 times, twice a day. Now, how much is hot? A hot is just bath hot in temperature. Cold is just spigot cold. Now, what do we need to do to really, really, really make it work? Need to pray. So which one of y'all would like to pray? Pardon? Okay, so you need to go over and pray. And now, I don't play pray, but this is real. And so we're going to pray that God will bless this.
Dear Jesus, thank you that we can be here to help heal Miss Audrey's foot. Please bless the poultice we put on and please help her to heal fast. Amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Yes. All right. So what's another important thing about a sprain? Elevation. Keep it elevated. That's very important. All right. So let's go to our next one. What else do we have in the bag? Onion. Yes. You're going to cry. Oh, no. So you can take an onion poultice. You can either grate it or you can slice it. And, folks would use an onion poultice on an ear. They'd use an onion poultice on different areas. Who's ever used onion poultices? Okay. What did you use it on? On the ears? And how did you fix it? Okay. Who else has used it? Who else has done? Okay, how did you use it? Apply. Okay. Anyone else? How did you do it? Chopped it up fine, and you didn't heat it up. You just put it straight. Okay. Yes. And did you heat it first? Okay. Yes. So we have different ways of doing it. However, how else? Who else has done a an onion poultice? So you can, so you can either heat it up first, and then you slice it, and then you can heat it up in a skillet, or you can steam it, or you can chop it up, heat it, or you can apply it just straight. Where you apply it to the area. A lot of times on the lungs. Used a lot on the lungs. Yes. Yes. I would leave it on. Let's see, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. When you can leave it on until tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow morning, I do a hot and cold treatment to it. You reckon you can keep that on all night? Okay. You're welcome. So we can either grate it, we can slice it, We can apply it straight, or we can heat it up. A lot of times when people put it to the chest, they'll heat it up first, because some people have more sensitive skin, especially young children, or as a person gets into their senior years, the skin is more sensitive, and you have to be a little more careful. So let's look and see how we can use onion poultices. What? It's not on here? Okay, I didn't put it on there. Okay, so it can be respiratory. It can be inflammation. What else did y'all use it for? Pardon? On the feet? When did y'all use it on the feet? When did you use it on the feet? A cough and a cold? Okay. I like using, tomorrow I think we're doing, tomorrow we're going to do a poultice of cayenne poultice. I like doing those on the feet. It can be to warm a person up. It can be to increase circulation. One of the best places to apply something, especially essential oils to an infant, is on the feet, because it's going to transdermally go through there. Do we have any more items? Uh-huh. What time do we quit?
We had till 4 o'clock.
Okay, so we'll go to 4. Can we do castor oil? Let's do it. Okay, we're going to do castor oil pack. Yes?
So a lot of these applications that we're putting them on the skin, it's going through the derm. But are there advantages of, like, say, eating the onion raw?
Oh, absolutely. Onions are really healthy for us. My wife learned when she was in Pohnpei as a school teacher that the best way to, she didn't know me yet, but it's a way to hook your husband or to keep your husband happy is saute some onions. And just the odor in the house makes him happy when he comes home. And I found that was true. But there is very good benefits of taking onions in. Onions are antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial, antiparasitic, they're antiviral. They're very, very powerful. They really are. Pardon? Cooked or raw, but they're going to be more powerful raw. Yes? Yes, it does. So, and I believe that was said over here. You can put it beside the bed, or slice it and put it in the room. Yes, sir. If not, why not? I am, at the time, writing a book. I've got a good bit of it already written. I just haven't finished it yet. Mary Lou says, you got to stop and finish your book. But there's so many people like now. And Walter, see, Mary Lou, I used to do my own scheduling. And then I'd be gone sometimes 8 weekends in a row. And then I'm working full-time at the store. And then I'm also a fire chief. And Mary Lou said, no more, and Walter. And so they took scheduling away from me. And so they're trying to hog tie me to just twice a month going out. But there are times when they find other places stuck on the schedule that they didn't put on there, and I get in trouble. So that's the problem, is there's so much need out there. People call and want me to come, and it's just having the time to finish. Yes?
You mentioned care poultice for eczema.
Mm-hmm.
Do it the same way where you
Just apply it to the affected area. The key, thank you, you're observant. So the issue with eczema, what's the issue with eczema, psoriasis, rosacea? And Dr. Agatha told me back in 2008, the biggest cause of eczema that we're seeing today is the wheat that we have. The American wheat, it has 42 chromosomes instead of 14 chromosomes. It's sprayed with Roundup. And she said that one wheat cracker can kick on eczema, psoriasis, rosacea for an extra 2 to 2.5 months. Just eating one cracker, just one bite of birthday cake, just one bite of pizza. And so being totally plum gluten-free is very important, or away from that. And the problem is not the gluten. The problem is what we've done to it that has affected it. Because I believe that as I read the Bible talks a lot about bread. And so it's what we've done to it. And as I was sharing with y'all, last month I got to spend some time with Dale Bigtree. in Phoenix. And the issue is what we have done through GMO, what we've done through hybridization, is what's really messed up our food, and that's something that he's trying. But I mean, that's like back in the 70s, us going against the tobacco industry. The food industry is very powerful. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a castor oil. Everybody got castor oil? Okay. Do I have castor oil? Right here. Good. Excellent. Thank you. I need that. Thank you. Oop. So castor oil pack. So I like castor oil packs. It's one of the tools we used on Mary Lou when Mary Lou had breast cancer. Pardon? I like 3, but and this is flannel. You want something that can wick. Do you know how an old pair of sheets just doesn't wick anymore? It's just the wick is out of it. It just doesn't draw anymore. So, I mean, you can use a paper towel. I personally, flannel is what's very popular, but I like using an old white T-shirt, an old white T-shirt, and just cut it, one that's not used, and cut it up and fold it maybe 2-3 times, a little bit larger than the affected area. And then what you'll do, I'm trying to figure out how y'all going to do this instead of making it. So how can we do this without the table getting messed up when we pour it on there?
Oh, you can get stuff on the table?
Okay, so we're going to get it on the tables. So you take it, say take 2 of them, 3 of them, whatever, and then let's say 3. Now, a charcoal poultice, how is a charcoal poultice and a castor oil pack different? Okay. Liquid versus non-liquid. Penetrating versus draw. Exactly. That's the difference. So a charcoal poultice does drawing. A castor oil pack penetrates. So we don't use a charcoal poultice over and over again because we pulled toxins out. We pulled that old nasty boil out, and we don't want to use that again. We throw it away. Where a castor oil pack is not drawing the toxins out, it's just a mechanism by which to hold the castor oil for it to be absorbed. So you can keep using this pack over and over and over and just rehydrate it with castor oil. And so, which is better? Warm or cold castor oil? Warm, yes. So you can either warm it, and I've done it different ways. I've done it where I poured it in a pot and then daubed it down in there and squeeze it out. It's a mess. Or I'll take it and just as this, take warm and pour it on there. Or you can apply it to the affected area and then apply a heating pad or a hot water bottle. Why do you want it warm instead of cold? Penetration, vasodilation versus vasoconstriction. You're going to have better penetration or transdermal absorption if you have vasodilation from the warmth, either the warm castor oil or putting a heating pad on it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pour some castor oil in here. We don't want to pour it where it's running all over the table, but we just want to saturate it, but not plumb saturate it. I have no idea. She says one castor oil smells nasty and the other one doesn't. It might over time. Maybe you just got some that gone bad. Okay, we must be talking Jamaican stuff here. No? Aruba, okay. Okay, so yeah, don't confuse them. And it's black. Does that one stink? It has. Okay, so different castor oils have different smells.
What I'm referring to in the islands.
In the islands. That's why I don't know.
Before the children go to start school, your mother gets you like a teaspoon or so to cleanse you.
Oh yeah.
That one is terrible.
We did that when I was a kid. If you had constipation, you got the castor oil.
So which one do you use? The non-smelly one?
The one I'm using doesn't smell. Yes, ma'am. Pardon?
That's gonna be my pack that I can use every night.
Yes? Oh, you can use it 10, 12 times. So you're doing it twice a day. So it's going to last, say, you could use it a week. Yeah, so what you do is you apply your oil to it, or if you decide you need to add another one, you can.
I've been applying that since I came back from Black Hills on this one eyebrow that I was diagnosed with.
Yes?
So self-cautious.
Is it helping?
I mean, I'm out today, otherwise I'd have a bandage.
Uh-huh.
But I could be putting the larger one on.
Yes, so the question is, since she came back from Black Hills, which is in South Dakota, they had her putting castor oil on some cancer. And castor oil is great to put on cancer. Another one that I like putting on like skin cancers is Padiarco. Who knows about Padiarco? Pardon? Hang on a sec. We'll get the right pronunciation.
It's palo, like stick, de arco, like an arc.
Palo de arco.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
It's very good for cancer.
Excellent. It's like Pac-Man. It loves eating cancer cells. It's great. It's my favorite for prostate. No, it doesn't. No. So I just say Padiarco, but Palo de Arco, it is great. It's P-A-U space D' space A-R-C-O. I can spell that word. Yes, ma'am. Pardon? What's that? Castor oil? Oh, yeah, I know. My mama made me drink it. To do what? Oh, induced labor. Yes, you're right. It is true. They used it for induced labor. Also, if you were constipated. Yes. Was there another question? Okay, so what we've done is we've got some castor oil in here, and then you can apply it to the affected area. Let's say a woman has breast cancer. Do you apply it to one breast or both breasts? Both breasts, symmetrically. Even though there's only one breast cancer, one breast that has cancer, apply it to both. If you're doing the lavender essential oil, and lavender essential oil is great to use for breast cancer. Also, frankincense essential oil, apply it to both breasts liberally 3 times to 4 times a day. So you apply it to the affected area, and then you can put a piece of saran wrap on it to keep it from soiling your clothes. But some people will wrap the whole area. Let's say there's an issue here, and they wrap the whole trunk with it. You don't want to do that because it needs to breathe. Some people will say leave it on for 24 hours. I like doing it for 12 hours. But actually, less than 12. I like doing it for 11 hours. Because you don't want to do it 12 hours on and just keep putting a new one every 12 hours. Because I think the skin needs to breathe. So you apply it for 11 hours. Let's say you get up in the morning, you put it on, leave it for 11 hours, take it off, wash the area, let it breathe for an hour or 2. Then apply another one, use it through the night, take it off in the morning, let it rest, breathe for an hour or 2. The skin needs to breathe. And if you apply this and it just stays on all the time, you're not getting the breathing. And the skin likes to breathe. And so you need to make sure that breathing takes place. And so that's how we use it. We use it for breast cancer. We use it for cysts, ovarian cysts. Use it for some people. Barbara probably talked about putting it in the eye or for using for cataracts. I had this guy come. This is funny. People are funny, So this guy comes in. He goes, look at my head, look at my head. And I said, your hair, it's starting to grow again. He goes, yeah. I said, what did you do? He says, I was listening to Barbara, and Barbara said to put it on your head if you want your hair to grow. And his hair was starting to grow. And he was just putting castor oil twice a day on there, and his hair is now starting to grow. And so you can use castor oil for a lot of things. Yes, ma'am. So ovarian cysts, 2 things. One is you want to make sure that you have adequate estrogen, that the estrogen is at the right level. And the best thing that I have found is, and you heard if you were here back when Barbara was here, and that's wild yam cream. Mary Lou and I have been using wild yam cream for that for over 21 years. And you just take a good quality wild yam cream, because some are not good quality. A good quality wild yam cream, and you apply it twice a day. If the lady is still cycling, she stops day 1 of the cycle for 7 days and then starts again. If she has 2 or 3 cycles, I had a girl recently come in. For 10 years, she's had 3 cycles a month. I'm just wearing that poor girl out. And so if you have multiple cycles, you continue using it through those other cycles. But the first cycle of the month, you stop for 7 days. If you don't still cycle, you just use it twice a day, every day. What wild yam cream does, wild yam cream stabilizes progesterone. When you stabilize progesterone, you stabilize estrogen, and you also stabilize testosterone. And so you've got to stabilize the estrogen. The next thing is use a castor oil pack. Another also important key is nutrition. I like juicing the best if I'm hitting something really hard. If Mary Lou had her choice, she would juice all the time. She likes juicing a lot, but we do need fiber. And so we can't only juice. But if I'm attacking something, especially hormone issues, if you have a gal that can't get pregnant, we had a gal that came in and she'd been for 2 years going to an infertility clinic. They've been married for several years, and someone sent her to us. We juiced her and went raw, and in 5 weeks she was pregnant. And we find that Noni, who knows Noni? They're called Noni babies. Noni provides good nutrition, helps in that also. But if I'm attacking the ovarian cysts, or I'm looking at stabilizing the hormones and also putting a castor oil pack on there. Yes.
Is castor oil beneficial at all for macular degeneration?
I don't know if it is or not for macular degeneration, whether wet or dry. There's a company out of California. It's called Wise Choice Medicine. And they make something called ARMED. However, ARMED, it could be armed or ARMED. That was used many years, and now they've added 2 more items to that for the macular degeneration. They have 2 other items. One is called Can-C, and we've used that for years. I got rid of floaters using it for myself. It's used for cataracts. It's also used for glaucoma. But they found that product also helps in macular degeneration. And then they have a Can-C NAC that is a pill, and using that also. But the foundation one they did was ARMED, and we're seeing some benefit with that. Yes, ma'am.
How do you spell Can-C?
CAN-C by Wise Choice Medicine. It's a good tool. If you have a dog that has cataracts, actually veterinarians find that it reverses the cataracts faster on dogs than even on humans. Thyroid issues, yes. It's a little tougher. One, you need to have one. If it's gone, there's not much we can do, or if it's been killed. But if they still have a working thyroid, there's several things. Number one, there's 4 no's. Number 1 is no chlorine, no fluoride, and no bromide. Chlorine, fluoride, and bromide are higher on the periodic table than iodine, and it prevents, according to Dr. Fletch's, from the thyroid absorbing iodine. And so we know that it's an issue from CDC, because for a number of years they've been telling pregnant women not to use fluoride because it can cause cognitive issues with the baby. And so we know it affects the absorption of iodine. So those 3 are off the table: no chlorine, no fluoride, no bromide. Bromide is a dough enhancer, a dough preservative. It's also in soft drinks and all kinds of food as a preservative. The next no is wheat, the American wheat. It started out Dr. William Davis in 1990 researching it, but now we're seeing other researchers finding that wheat does affect thyroid function if a person is either hyper or hypo, or even if they have Hashimoto. So those 4 are the no's. Things that you want to do. We'll come back to the first one. You want zinc, somewhere between 30 to 50 milligrams of zinc. But if you're over let's say you're in the higher 30 and the 40 or up, and you take zinc, you want to take also copper, because you lose zinc when you lose copper when you take zinc, and you want 3 to 5 milligrams of copper if you're taking zinc. Another one is selenium, somewhere between 200 to 400 micrograms of selenium. Don't take selenium and Brazil nuts. It's too much, they're telling us. Somewhere around, you read 3, you see 5, but 5's the highest I hear on the Brazil nuts. But there's selenium. You want selenium. You want L-tyrosine. L-tyrosine, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of L-tyrosine is very important. You want to address the adrenals. Blown adrenals affects thyroid function. And what blows the adrenals? Stress. So there's things like ashwagandha and different herbs that build, or nettle tea. Nettle is the number one or the highest nutritious phytochemical or herb in North America, nettle tea. And y'all got stinging nettle here. I know that because when I was a boy, I lived in St. Pete and Orlando. And back then, you just wore short pants and you rode everywhere with your bare feet, and you'd hit them stinging nettle patches when you go through a lot. But stinging nettle is amazing for helping the adrenals, which then helps thyroid. Now, if the person is also, the last one I want to look at is iodine. If you have a high free T4, you want to be cautious. Even if you are hypo, according to Dr. George Kim, you can push a person to hyper if they have a high free T4 and you give iodine. If they don't have a high free T4 and they have hypo, usually 12.5 milligrams of iodine to 25 milligrams of iodine is good. The average American female consumes, well, let me back up. The average Japanese female consumes 13.7 milligrams of iodine a day, 13.7. The average American woman consumes 0.125 milligrams of iodine a day. And so you're not getting the iodine, and that affects thyroid function and a number of other issues. But if the person is hyperthyroid, you want to be cautious on the iodine because you can make it worse. If a person has Hashimoto's, the best thing I have found for Hashimoto's is what we just spoke of, but also doing a juice fast, a 60-day juice fast. It works extremely well for the antibodies. A lot of times with Hashimoto's, you got elevated antibodies, and that juice fast for 60 days, that's all they're doing is just drinking, say, 16 ounces of juice 3 times a day. Those antibodies come right down usually. So also another item is exercise. Exercise is also important for thyroid. The 8 laws of health. That's the problem. I don't know the way to fix it. It's gone. But I have good news. Let me share the good news. So a guy calls me last year, maybe, and this guy is significantly depressed. I mean, significantly depressed. He had a wound on his left foot that was not, from what he told me, was not addressed aggressively. They amputated below the knee, unfortunately. And he called me to ask me how I could fix his foot. And at first I said, the foot's gone. I can't fix it. But does sometimes the Holy Spirit talk to you and say, why don't you ask this or say this? And it's good to listen. This guy was so discouraged, it was like he was in a room with blinders on. He had no hope. He was significantly depressed, dangerously depressed. He saw no hope. That's how upset he was. He no longer had his foot. And it was like, tell him you can get his foot back. I said, mister, I can get your foot back. He said, what? I said, mister, I can get your foot back. He goes, don't mess with me. I mean, he's serious. I said, I can get your foot back. He goes, how? I said, you got to do 4 things. You got to accept Jesus as your Savior. Not just when you're 8 years old. Paul says every day, die daily. Number 2, you've got to become friends with Him. Not just know of Him, but know Him. You know of your governor, but you may not know Him, like a spouse knows a spouse. do we know him? He says he's going to come back, and people go, oh, I done this, I done that. And he goes, I don't know. I didn't know. You didn't spend time with me. We got to know him, spend time with him. Number 3, if we've done something wrong, ask for forgiveness and don't do it no more. Number 4, read the Bible. If it says do it, do it. If it says don't do it, don't do it. If you do those 4 things, I guarantee you, you'll get your foot back when Jesus comes. And is that true? It was like the stadium lights came on. He says, are you serious? He got so excited he could get his foot back. He had hope. For us, we're going, wow. But it worked. He was so excited. We have that hope of a new body. And though we may have challenges here, we have a new body that's going to come. And isn't that exciting? Yes. It sure is. All right. Anything else we need to talk about today, or are we going to come back tomorrow? What do we? Come back tomorrow? All right. So where's Sonia go? Sonia. Okay. Yes, another question. Mm-hmm. Where is the nerve problems? Feet. Okay. The problem is neuropathy. So there's nerve problems in the feet. We used to use hot and cold, warm and cool. You can't use hot and cold for that. It's too hot for the condition. You do warm and cool, 100 degrees and 70 degrees. 3 minutes warm, 1 minute cool, 7 times twice a day. But the best thing I have found for peripheral neuropathy is something by Terry Naturally, Terry, Naturally. It's called Healthy Feet and Nerves. Healthy Feet and Nerves. And it take 2 in the morning, 2 at night. It's actually guaranteed. If it doesn't work, take it back and get your money back. But that is the best thing. It's herbs and vitamins. It works extremely well. Terry Naturally.
Naturally. So what did everybody think? Praise God. Well, tomorrow is our second workshop. Now, from 10 to 12 is a special workshop, and that is if you want to know how to become a medical missionary, what it is you need to do. So that's from 10 to 12, and then the afternoon is when we're going to have a similar workshop as we are doing it today, okay? And that starts at 1 o'clock. So, pardon? Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing bentonite clay. We're doing stinging nettle. We're doing facials. So don't wear makeup tomorrow. We're doing charcoal poultices, cayenne pepper, and cabbage. So come prepared. Does anybody have questions? Well, there's 2 in here.
You need these, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we could do. So who's coming back tomorrow? We need a count. Who's coming in the morning? I need hands up for 10 o'clock. Who's coming at 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, no try, because we're going to make lunch for those who come in the morning. So we need to know. We need to have a head count. No. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6? Okay, who's coming for the 1 o'clock? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay. All right, well, let's have a word of prayer before we go. And before everybody goes, if we just clean up the tables, everything that's in the baggies, unfortunately, we're going to... Do you have a garden? Can we put it all together to give it to Suji to put in her garden? For compost? We could put it on the counter. We'll throw it all in one big bag. And then we have cloths just to wipe down the tables, if that's okay.
You want one? These are dirty.
Yeah. In the garbage, honey. Right there, look. Well, before we start cleaning up, can we have a word of prayer? Okay. Eva. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, you're such an awesome God. Thank you so much for bringing us all together. Thank you for Mr. Cross, our brother, who's come with a beautiful message to teach us, to educate us, to show us how to be missionaries for you. Lord, we truly want to learn, so help us to retain the information. Help us not only to retain it, but to be able to use it for somebody. And as we pray with them, as we ask you to guide and direct their healing, that they would see these things that are truly work, and that they would see and be encouraged, and that we would also see and be encouraged. So, Lord, give us victory. Help us to do your work so that we can be your hands and feet. We pray that you would bless everyone as they go on their way home, and that you will bring them back safely tomorrow. In Jesus' name we pray.